Hey, what's up, everybody? Um, I am Shara Prophet. Welcome back to Open Door Hypnosis Tea. So, I'm going to be recording for the first time live on my YouTube channel as well as my Facebook page, my Open Door, Open Door Hypnosis business page on Facebook. So, let's see how this goes. All right. So waiting to see if a few people are going to join in. So I took a vote on YouTube community page today, and it was a toss-up between two discussions. One was going to be how to heal your inner child, or how to tap into energy of a dead genius, which was surprisingly neck and neck, but inner child won out. So we're going to do that today. And then maybe on Wednesday night or Thursday night or something like that, I'll do the other video. Okay. So I am going to just jump right in because I was going to give a few people a chance to join, but I'm just going to jump right in because I don't want any dead space. Okay, so basically tonight we're going to be talking about how to heal your inner child. And this is the reason why this even came up in the first place was because lately it's been coming up in sessions quite a bit for me, for clients. And so I just kind of got the nudge, Spirit was like, you need to post about this, you need to talk about this. And I get the feeling that a lot of people are kind of tapping into that part of themselves that needs to heal that inner child, because a lot of people, if you've noticed, are getting like this nudge, this call to do something bigger in the world. And there's a lot of people that are now stepping into their purpose, so to speak. A lot of light workers are coming up. And I like to say change agents instead of light workers. Because, some people, everybody doesn't work on the light side. Some people have to work with the dark side as well. Okay. I am a person that works both on the dark side and the light side. We got to start in the dark to bring the light in, right? So I like to say change agents instead of light workers. But anyway, I'm noticing that a lot of people are starting to feel like they want to move, like they want to change careers. They feel like there's something else that they're supposed to be doing in their lives right now. So I feel like whenever you step into that kind of work, in order for you to help somebody else, you have to also do that inner work. So I feel like that's the reason why this inner child healing is coming up right now for a lot of people, especially, with people that are coming into the office to see, to get help. Okay. So let's just jump right into this. And I'm going to be using a lot of information that I got from my inner child certification class. And a lot of this information comes from one of my mentors, Cheryl O'Neill. Okay, so I'm giving her credit for this. I didn't use everything verbatim, but a lot of what I use with my clients, and I'll give you some of the stuff that I used on myself before I took this particular certification class. But a lot of the stuff that I use on my clients comes from this certification. Okay. So inner child healing, there's aspects of everything. All right. There's aspects of all parts of our minds. So there is a child aspect of our subconscious mind. All right. And the positive aspect of that represents things like creativity, childlike innocence, intuition, intimacy, manifestation, joy, passion, and excitement. Okay. And some of the negative aspects of your uh, child aspect and the subconscious mind is due primarily to family dysfunction. Okay. And the subconscious mind is programmed because of that family dysfunction. So, what that means is if there was some sort of abuse taking place in the household, or just something that was normal in the household but not necessarily normal in societal standards, okay, the subconscious mind in that particular child has absorbed that energy or absorbed that behavior. So this is where serial killers, okay, out there that can't control in the household. Now, of course, everybody is not a serial killer, right? But it just shows you the way the subconscious mind is wired and how it's programmed when you grow up in dysfunction. And most of us did, honestly. Most of us have grown up in a dysfunctional household, whether it's divorced parents or some sort of verbal abuse, mental abuse, physical or sexual abuse, whether that abuse was directed at you or whether it was directed at a parent in the household or a sibling in the household or a pet in the household, okay? So an adult might also have a childlike reaction to a specific trigger. You might see an adult that's in their 50s or 60s throwing a tantrum like a 6-year-old, okay? This is because they are stuck in that particular time in their lives where an unhealthy event took place, okay? So that's just something to think about. And I like to refer to this aspect as the wounded child, okay? And Cheryl, she refers to it as the hurt child, okay, or the child that's been hurt. So I call it the wounded child because I also like to use the term the walking wounded. Those of us that walk around this planet, okay, hurting, bleeding all over the place, right? And you walk around hurting and bleeding other people, okay? So you might need inner child healing if any of these things that I'm getting ready to name sounds familiar to you. All right. You often reflect on pain from your childhood. You experience feelings of abandonment, shame, guilt, or rejection, especially in romantic situations or romantic relationships. Okay. If somebody doesn't call you back immediately or they don't text you back immediately and you start to feel a certain kind of way, there could be some residual triggers there or emotions there that can be related to abandonment issues or rejection. All right. If you have issues with weight, addiction, hoarding, if you are still grieving over the divorce of your parents, all right, or if you get divorced a lot, if you experience a lot of anger, if you have gone through or dealt with sexual or physical abuse of any kind, okay, if you have a hard time letting go, or you go through extended periods of grief, or grieving over a loss, whether it's a loss of a loved one, loss of a job, a loss of a child, loss of money, okay, loss of a relationship. If you spend an extended amount of time, like many years, trying to recover from that, it could mean that you have some inner child healing that needs to be done, okay? So let's talk about some ways that you can start the healing process. The first way that I would recommend is by going to see a professional, see a behavioral expert, whether it's a therapist or a hypnotherapist or a coach who specializes in inner child healing or specializes in some sort of behavioral science. Okay. That would be the first thing. There's also some things that you can begin to do on your own to start the healing process. And one of those things is meditation. And I'm going to give you a couple of things that I did personally for myself. Okay. I'm not going to give away all of the hypnotherapy secrets. All right. But I will share with you some things that I did for myself before I even went to hypnotherapy school. Okay. Before I even got trained in this, I understood that there were some things that I needed to work on in myself and to heal my inner child. Okay. So, one thing you can do is meet up with your inner child in meditation. You can set an intention that you're going to connect with or communicate with your inner child. All right. And once you do that, you then begin to follow your intuition, follow the guidance of your own inner wisdom. So for me, what I did was one of the first things I had to do was I needed to forgive my inner child. I had to forgive my inner child because I felt like some things happened in my childhood because of me, because it was my fault, or because I wasn't lovable. I wasn't enough. Okay. Then I had to start to forgive all the people that were involved. Mother, father, okay, other family members. I had to begin that process of forgiving them. I had to forgive myself first, and then I had to go and forgive them. All right. And I did a lot of this in meditation. Some of it I did with journaling. Okay. Journaling is very powerful when you're going through the healing process, when you're trying to overcome something. Okay. Just getting a pen and pad, a notebook, and just start writing some things down, things that come to you. Because the reason why journaling is so powerful is you begin to tap into that anger, that sadness, whatever it is, that rejection, whatever that emotion is. Okay. I won't necessarily say that it's a negative emotion. It's just a polar opposite of feeling good. Okay. Whatever that polar opposite is, you want to tap into that and you want to find out, what is it trying to tell me? Because all of it is just information. We have to remember that first and foremost. Even the pain and suffering that we experienced as a child, that was information for us. Okay. That's information that we absorbed into our DNA because something needed to be triggered to get us on the path to remembering who we are and why we're here, because we forget as soon as we enter the womb. Okay. As soon as we enter the womb into our mother's bellies, we forget all of that stuff, right? We forget who we are for real. We forget why we agreed to come here in the first place. So part of the whole process of us being here is remembering, waking up. That's what they call it, the awakening. That's what they call it, being enlightened or waking up, okay, out of the slumber. So all of it is information. So that's one, just knowing that is information. Looking at it as information is half the battle, and it takes a lot of the charge and the power off of that pain. Okay. If you're able to say, all right, yes, that hurt like hell. Oh my God, I've been to hell and back. Okay. I was a little kid. I didn't deserve that. I didn't know any better. Nobody was there to protect me. Nobody was there to help me. Great. That's good information. You can write that down, right? But then you have to say, but let me look at my life right now. Who am I right now? What things have I done that I feel proud about? How can I feel proud about myself right now in this space? Wow, I've done a lot of great things in my life considering what I've been through. Okay. So there must have been something there that happened in my childhood that was helpful, that brought me all the way to this point. So that's the starting point right there of looking at everything that ever happened to you as information. Codes that helped you become who you are, building blocks that helped put you together. Okay, so if you could start to have some appreciation for it, you also take the power away from the pain and the stigma of all of this stuff that happened. Yes, it hurt. Yes, it was terrible. Yes, oh my God, how could somebody do that to a child? Absolutely all of the above. But in order to start the healing process, which is why most of you guys are here tonight watching this, to start the healing process, we got to start at point A. And point A is information, and I appreciate it. That's point A. Okay. Then you go into the forgiveness aspect. I got to forgive myself because maybe somewhere along the line, I thought it was my fault. I wasn't good enough. I did bad things and my parents took it out on me. You know what I mean? I made them upset. I triggered something in them. I made them get divorced. I made daddy cheat, whatever. Okay. The list is so long. I'm not going to go down the whole list. All right. So forgiveness of self, forgiveness of all those who were involved. The next thing is loving up on that child. When you go into that meditation, you need to love up on your little you, okay? You can envision yourself picking that baby up, kissing all over that baby, crying all over that baby. You can say words of affirmation, like you are loved, I love you, I appreciate you, thank you for being so strong that you hung in there and now you're big and grown. Thank you, because it takes a lot of strength for a child. Hi, Galaxy Nova. Let's see who's on here right now. Hi, Kimberly. Hey, JC. Hey, Jenny. It took a lot of strength and courage for that little kid to withstand all of that. Okay, so you tell that to your younger you. And this is why you do all of this in meditation. All right. You can say things, and you're safe now. You're secure now. You're protected now. Okay. You're warm. It wasn't your fault. And then you can bring in elements of compassion for yourself, elements of compassion for all of those who were involved. Okay. So you can say things like, you know, they did what they did because their inner child was hurting too, and nobody showed them what I'm showing you. Okay? Nobody showed them what I am showing you. Okay? So those are just some starting points of how you can begin the process on your own. Again, obviously, if you are dealing with some deep trauma, you definitely want to connect with or reach out to a behavioral expert. Okay. A therapist, a hypnotherapist, somebody that understands childhood trauma, somebody that understands healing the inner child and doing inner child work. Okay. You definitely want to do that. But if you feel like this is something that you can start off with on your own, and see, what I did was I started the process, right? But then I went ahead and started seeing my own hypnotherapist to help me through some things. I also had a therapist at one time. It wasn't for a long time, but it was very helpful. It jump-started a lot of things for me. A lot of people are afraid of therapists. You know, they're like, I don't want to go to a therapist. I don't want anybody to get in my head. But it's not about them getting in your head. It's about what a therapist does is they help you connect with what's going on in your head. They help put you in your head so you get a better understanding of what's going on with yourself. right? And once you get a better understanding of what's going on with you, then you're able to take the next steps for your healing process. And no, you don't have to be in therapy for years and years and years and years and years. I went for like 6 months, and that jump started the processes for me. Okay. And once I did that and I got jump started, I was able to follow my own inner guidance of what I needed to do next to help myself. All right. So we all have a past, we all have a story, we have all dealt with some things, we all got some issues with our parents or somebody in our family. Some people's trauma runs a little bit more deep than others. Okay. But you determine for yourself what it is you need to do. Okay. The moment you decide I need to heal my inner child, that's the first step. You're already making a step in the right direction. So once you make that decision, the next thing is saying, okay, I need to heal my inner child. How do I start doing that? I just gave you some beginner steps that you can do today, tonight. You can do this right now. Okay. Just go into a little meditation and set your intention. Before you go into meditation, you set your intention that you are going to meet up with your inner child. You're going to communicate with your inner child, and you're just going to go down the list the way I just told you. Now, I'll give you a little bit of story about my experience. My personal experience is I went through this process, right? And I had to do it a few times. It didn't really some things are a one-shot deal and you're done. And it also depends on the depth of the trauma that you've experienced. Okay. So I did it a few times. And what I found was eventually I merged with my inner child. Okay. After I went through this forgiveness and, loving up on my baby self, right? I merged with my inner child, and then I started parenting myself. Okay. I started doing things that I would do for a child. If I had a child, was treating myself like a child, talking to myself like I would a child. I mean, not like in baby talk. I don't talk to babies in baby talk anyway. I talk to my cat in baby talk, but a kid, I talk to them like I'm talking to you. Okay. But being easy with myself, being gentle with myself, being loving with myself, not beating myself up like I used to when I made a mistake. Okay. That's the first thing. If you treat yourself as if you were talking to a little tiny newborn, you wouldn't just cuss a newborn out, right? No, you wouldn't say, you stupid, you don't know nothing. You would love up on that baby. Okay. You would treat that baby with gentleness and kindness. So that was one of the things that I did. Then I would actually swaddle myself. I would actually swaddle myself. At night, I would swaddle myself. When I got out of the bathtub, I would swaddle myself, and I would just hug myself. Okay? Because I needed to parent me. I would do this meditation that I kind of created where I envision myself being swaddled in a light blue, very, very cottony, soft, warm blanket. And then I would place myself in a huge red cradle. Okay. And then I envisioned my spiritual parents standing over me, taking good care of me, loving me, rocking the cradle. And the mantra that I gave myself all the time was, I am safe. I am secure. I am at home everywhere I go. Okay. That was my personal thing that I needed. Okay. Darshini Vodara says, hey, you're so great. Is healing your inner child like forgiving your inner child for past mistakes when you didn't know better? Absolutely. Yes. Yes, it is that. That is actually one of the steps, forgiving yourself. because you didn't know better. And then you forgive whoever else was involved in that situation because they didn't know any better. Their inner child was wounded as well, right? So they're only operating from the place, from the capacity that they are at. We're all just operating from the capacity, from our own capacity. Okay. So after I did, and you know what, guys, this process took about a year, and things are still coming up for me that I'm like, ooh, that's some inner child stuff I need to look at, because it's not a one-shot job and you're done. Healing is an ongoing process, and just when you think you've completed one thing. Thank you, Sean 11. Just when you think you've completed one thing, something else pops back up and you're like, oh my God, are you serious? I got to do this too? Yeah. Yep. Okay. So it took about a year to go through this process. And I still have times where stuff comes up. Okay. And I'm like, man, I got to go back and do some more work. But, once you do it, you be like, all right, okay, I got this. I know what to do. I have some tools. I'm going to use them. And then it becomes kind of like a game, like, let's see how long it takes me to get through this, So after I did that whole swaddling thing and putting myself inside of I was going to say a coffin, Lord, putting myself inside of a cradle. Well, it kind of is a coffin. You're kind of dying and it's like a rebirth. So it kind of is a coffin because you're old, the old self, that old baby you is dying off, and there's a rebirth taking place. So I would imagine these huge spiritual parents that I have, right? And it's not, I still got my parents and I love them to death and they're awesome. But I needed to do this particular process for me, okay? Because they're still operating at their capacity, right? They're just doing the best that they know to do. But I know what's best for me because I spent time getting to know myself and understanding what my inner child needed. So even though my parents are great and they're awesome and they're still here, and I'm blessed because they're still here, regardless of the mistakes that they made, right? They will never really know what it is that I need, because only I know what I need. Only I know what my inner child needs in order to thrive and in order to be a healthy adult, okay? So because I know what I need and I took responsibility for what I needed, I didn't say, Mommy, you didn't do this. Daddy, you didn't do this. Sometimes I do that, but that's just because it's programming. But even when that happens, I'm like, wait a minute. All they had to do was bring me into this world, and they did that. Thank you. Okay. So after I cradled myself, right? Then guess what happened? And this was my experience. So everybody's experience is going to be different. I'm just sharing with you guys, what my experience was when I did this process. So after that, my little girl, my inner child, turned into my wise guide. Just for a little while, she was guiding me through things. I mean, she would take me through these amazing visions when I was in meditation. I mean, one point we were flying through the air and she took me to the edge of a cliff and told me to jump. And I was like, hell no, I ain't jumping. And then she was like, jump. And I jumped. And then I took off flying. And then I landed in this whole other world. And she introduced me to my future self. So I got a chance to see what I look like, 15 years down the line. I saw the house that I'm going to be living in. I met my husband that I'm going to be married to. So you can really, doing this work is more than just, I'm healing the wounds and the sadness. No, you're also opening up a doorway to new ways of being. Okay. You're allowing yourself to step into a whole nother realm. Okay. You're opening the doorway to healing, and anything is possible when you do that. Trust me. You might change careers. You might leave one relationship and end up in the relationship of a lifetime. Okay. You might travel the world. You might drop 50 pounds. Anything can happen, but you must be willing to go on this ride, go on the journey, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of it, because all you're dealing with is your energy. You're dealing with your energy. Do not be afraid of your energy. Do not be afraid of your healing journey. And don't be afraid to be by yourself and to get still, because those are the major components that you need in order to come from one point of being into the next point of being. Okay? If you're ready for a change and you're tired of going around in circles and circles and circles and circles and circles because you're not getting anywhere, you feel like what I like to call running in butter, then you have got to do something different. And I don't mean do something in the outer world with your hands. I'm talking about you got to do it in here. It's all up in here and in here that you have to do this work. Okay? So that's it. Anybody have any questions before I get off of here? All right. Well, for those of you that joined later, the video will be up, so you can always go back and watch it. If you do have questions later on, you can always leave the questions in the comments section below. And I know you guys see me going back and forth. That's because I'm recording this. I'm doing a live on my Facebook business page, Open Door Hypnosis. And I'm also going live on my YouTube channel, Open Door Hypnosis TV. So you're welcome, Darshnavora. You're very, very welcome. Thank you, Sean 11. Thank you. So if you guys ever have questions, feel free to leave questions in the comments below. You can always email me. All of my information is on my Facebook page, and it's also in the description box below this video on YouTube. Okay. Now, I am currently accepting students into my Be Magic coaching program. It's an 8-week program that helps you to break through any unconscious blocks that keep you from hitting your goals, okay? Hitting those big goals, those bold, innovative goals that scare the hell out of you, that make you say, you know what, I'm not doing that. I don't need to do that. That's too much. I can't do it. So this program helps you break through those unconscious belief systems that hold you back from doing what you truly, really want to do deep down. So I make you dig deep and find that thing that scares the hell out of you. And then we start the process of you going for it, okay? Of you actually saying, wow, I am really getting ready to do this, okay? And there is some deep inner work that takes place in this program. And, I do, because I'm a certified hypnotherapist. I'm also a certified NLP practitioner. I'm a certified therapeutic imagery facilitator. And I've been doing this work now for going on 4 years. I'm also an instructor at the Hypnosis Motivation Institute here in California. It's been around for 50 years, 51 years now. So I teach other hypnotherapists how to do this stuff, okay? And so now I have compiled my many, many years of healing experience on myself and helping other people. I've compiled it into a program, an 8-week program, and I'm giving it to you guys, okay? I'm not giving it to you, but you know what I mean. You got to pay for it. But this is years and years of investments that I've made in myself, in my education, and reading and crying and studying and all of this stuff. So I've put it all together in this program. And if you want to check it out, the link is in the description box below. If you sign up for my email list, you will get $500 off of the total cost of the program. There's 3 payment plans that are very easy and affordable. And you must sign up before May 10th with your down payment in order to receive that discount. Okay. So check it out. You also have to do an interview with me first. So before you sign up, before you pay your money, make sure you set up a consultation with me first. I have to make sure we're a good fit for each other. I have to make sure you're a good fit for all of the people in the program. Okay. I have to make sure that this is in alignment with your belief system. Okay. Because we are dealing with the subconscious mind, and I'm also dealing with some ancient ritual practices in there. Okay. That are really going to help to anchor in everything that you're learning in this program. It's very, very powerful. And everybody can't know all of this stuff, because if it's not used properly, or if it's misused, it can cause a lot of trouble. Okay. So I have to interview everybody first to make sure you're healthy in the mind, to make sure you're okay with learning with what you're learning, just to get a feel for your energy and make sure you're in integrity with everything that you're going to be learning and that you're going to use it for good. All right. So with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in this evening. I hope that you've learned something helpful. Okay. And I hope that you put, some of these things, put them into action, start that process. Okay. And I will be back. If I'm not back tomorrow night, I'll come back on Thursday. And then we'll do the tapping into the dead genius energy. I'll show you how to do that, because that's pretty awesome. That's really, really cool. If there's somebody that you admire and they're not here anymore and they're on the other side of the veil, it's actually very easy to tap into their energy and to pull that energy in to help you achieve certain things that you want to achieve on this side of the veil. I love you all. Have an excellent night. And remember that you and only you are the key to a new you. Peace and blessings. Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining in. Mwah. Darshnavora, check out my video called "How Long Should I Meditate?" Okay. I have a video on here about meditation. All right. Okay. Bye, everybody.